She just picks and chooses her victims of who she wants to be rude to and who she decides to be nice to. Yeah, we've lost some talk. Hi and welcome to Feel Some Talk. I'm Tashti Floor, journalist, Hollywood truth teller, and your voice of reason in a town built on delusion. I saw a comment yesterday and I was like, wow, this is so cool. So now you can watch my channel in all these different languages. I tested out in French, in Spanish, Portuguese, Hindu. There's a lot of different languages.
Pero creo que están realmente preocupados por las contra Stephanie Jones por mettre la main sur le téléphone. Der Anti-SLAPP-Antrag hängt immer noch in der Schwebe.
So if English isn't your first language, you can go into settings and you can find the language that you want me to speak in. It's not my voice, obviously, but if you find English hard to understand, there are other options now. So that's super cool. And thank you so much for all the feedback I got yesterday from my episode. I spoke about plastic surgery and my true feelings about how some actors in Hollywood are turning into some kind of AI versions of themselves. I decided to speak to a plastic surgeon who's coming on my channel very soon, so stay tuned for that. We'll go through some of the faces and what he thinks that they have done to look the way they do and how to avoid those things and how to stay more natural. Also, while we're waiting for Baldoni to appeal, which I think is going to happen, it's been so quiet lately. There's no new filings today. I feel when it's really quiet, something big is about to happen and explode in our faces again. So no legal talk today. But we have to talk about Colleen Hoover's new movie, which has flopped tremendously at the box office. The movie is losing tons of money and the critics don't like it. Also, what happened to Britney Spears' friends? They were there at her wedding, they were so supportive of her, and now everyone's gone. Also, I went down the rabbit hole yesterday and I listened to the entire Lily Allen album that she just released. I don't know if you missed that story, but this is so interesting. The whole album tells the story of her relationship and failed marriage to her now ex-husband, David Harbour, who many people know from Stranger Things. She's sharing some very intricate details about what went on in their marriage, and I'm a bit shocked. Also, this just popped up on my Instagram, Blake Lively being rude to a reporter. Thank you, assholemedia.com. Every time I say that name, it makes me laugh, but I have to give them credit because they're the ones who posted this, showing how Blake went after one reporter when she asked about wearing menswear or, wearing a suit on the red carpet for, I think it was a simple favor, and then she's being so nice to another one.
Access is giving you best dressed menswear looks because obviously...
Why is it menswear? Why can't it be women's wear or just wear?
What's my next question to you? What would you call it? Like, is it just, what's the style?
Clothes.
Clothes?
Yeah.
Do you feel more empowered in that? Because for some reason, I feel like that.
I don't feel more powerful in a suit. I always find that very strange because I don't think men feel more powerful when they change their articles of clothing. Well, her clothes, just wearing menswear all the time is really cool. So this is Emily and me together because Emily would definitely have worn pants with this. I went pants free, full lamp shading today.
I feel it's like fuel to her to belittle journalists like she did to me. And this reminded me of my conversation with her when I asked about the costumes, if you don't remember that. Did you guys love wearing those kind of clothes that you got to wear?
Yes.
Yeah.
And working in digital...
Everyone wants to talk about the clothes, but I wonder if they would ask the men about the clothes.
I would.
I love Jesse's suits
He has some
and how
that's what I'm
he
saying. His wardrobe was beautiful.
I know.
Corey's wardrobe was gorgeous. Those high-waisted pants.
He's so great.
I wish men
and
wore
sorry,
high-waisted pants like that still.
Yeah, she was so offended by me asking about the costumes that she ignored me for the rest of the interview. My famous viral interview with Blake and Parker Posey, where they just talked to each other and made me look like a terrible person because I asked her about the costumes in the movie. As you know, that's the thing she kept talking about during the entire promo tour of It Ends With Us. The clothing, the fashion, how much she loved it, how she put her own own clothing in there, something she got really criticized for a lot, as you remember. Anyways, it just put things in perspective of how she just picks and chooses her victims of who she wants to be rude to and who she decides to be nice to. So let's get into Colleen Hoover's new adaptation of Regretting You, her book that now is made into a movie. As you know, she was also the author of It Ends With Us. So there were big expectations with her next movie coming up, and it got terrible reviews in Variety. I read some of it last week. They were comparing it to a soap opera, but not a good soap opera, a terrible soap opera. I think some fans are raving and they like it, but people do not go to the theater to watch it. It says here that the movie brought in only $23 million, falling short of its $30 million production cost. For a movie to actually make money, they need to double the cost of the movie. So this movie would have to make $60 million. Because of their budget of $30 million, and they only made $23 million the first week. I think we can definitely say that this is a flop. I don't know if people are actually boycotting Colleen Hoover, and that's one of the reasons that the fans are not showing up for her. But as I reported on recently, Colleen decided not to do any promo for this movie. She said she had a surgery coming up and that was a reason why she's not promoting the movie. But I don't know. I feel like she doesn't want to be out there because she's afraid of getting asked these questions about It Ends With Us. As you know, she supported Blake Lively. She really came out and supported her. And then after Justin Baldoni filed his countersuit against Blake and all the receipts came out, she went into hiding and she deleted her Instagram. So I'm not surprised if she lost a lot of fans because of that, because there's so much proof that she really supported Justin Baldoni. You know, she sold him the rights for her book and she also wanted him to be the lead. And there are photos and there are videos of the two of them together promoting the movie, and she was so supportive of him. So she just flipped, and I think we all know the reason for that, because I think probably most likely Blake and Ryan promised her something in the future, and now it's backfired and we know she's been deposed. I would love to read parts of that deposition. I wonder if she told the truth. Also, when you look at this, I wonder, because as I said before, I didn't like It Ends With Us. I thought it was a bad movie. Sorry. Just not my cup of tea, but I wonder if the movie did so well because of all the controversies around it. You know, it got so much extra publicity because of the friction between Blake and Justin Baldoni. There were news stories all the time about things happening on that set. And of course, there was a lot of backlash from the way Blake promoted the movie. And that might have even helped to get the word out about the movie. So maybe more people went to see it just because of that. We know that those kind of strategies actually work. And sometimes they will create fake friction from sets and put rumors out there that the cast is not getting along or that someone's dating, something we saw this summer with Liam Neeson and Pamela Anderson. It turned out to be completely fake. They never had a relationship. There was never love there. I mean, maybe they liked each other as co-stars, but apparently they haven't been in touch for over a year. So we know that a lot of the times publicists will plant rumors to get more publicity around a movie. She has more movies coming out with big stars like Dakota Johnson and Josh Hartnett for the movie Verity. And then there's another adoption with Anne Hathaway. So it's going to be interesting to follow those as well and see how they're doing at the box office. Anyways, there's been a lot of talk about Britney lately. And as you know, Kevin Federline just released a tell-all book and it's flopped. And that makes me happy. I feel like he's just taking advantage of her and she's not in a good place. There's been a lot of videos lately where again she's dancing at home and she looks like she's not in a good place. There's a story here on Rob Shooter's blog where he talks about how her friends has now abandoned her. Britney Spears' friends Madonna, Selena Gomez, and Paris Hilton were all at her wedding in 2022 and they were dancing around, and now they've been completely silent. They were front row for the photo ops, but now they're nowhere to be found, an insider tells Shooter's Scoop. Britney struggling, and the silence from her so-called friends is deafening. Sources says Britney hasn't spoken to any of them in months. No texts, no calls, nothing, says a longtime pal. She thought these women were her support system. Madonna, who once dubbed Britney her spiritual daughter, has avoided public comments entirely, and Selena Gomez, who tearfully toasted the bride, has stayed quiet online, sparking backlash from fans. We don't really know if they're in touch. I don't know if I believe this insider here, but I was watching this video of Madonna the other day when she arrived at Paris Fashion Week, and I think she looks like she's not in a good place either. Just the way she's walking and hiding behind that jacket. I don't know if these people are the best friends to have when you're going through a mental crisis. It says here that Paris Hilton, however, appears to be the lone exception. She's called, texted, and sent messages through mutual friends, a source close to Paris reveals. But Britney doesn't answer the phone. She's isolated and unreachable. So then it doesn't really matter if they reach out, if she's not going to get back to them. And I think at this point, Britney needs more than just friends. She needs professional help. And I really hope she's going to get it soon. I saw some comments the other day from the guy behind Free Britney, the movement that wanted the conservatorship to end for Britney. And now they're also being quiet. Everyone's just being quiet right now. And I feel like if someone doesn't step in soon to save Britney, I don't know what's going to happen to her. I was speaking to Magnus yesterday. He told me this story that I wanted to bring him on here to talk about, actually. He told me a story where he was doing an article about paparazzis for the Swedish newspaper he works for. And he tagged along for a day and they were chasing Britney. And he was in the back seat. And he said they were driving like crazy. They didn't stop at any red lights. He said, I felt there was an accident about to happen the entire time. It was so stressful. And all these photographers, he said it was up to 50 photographers at the same time, waiting outside. They were down here on Melrose, one of the places she stopped outside of Fred Siegel, I think, the store. And she came out and there were so many people she couldn't get past.
I just don't like it when you get in my way of my pictures.
Oh, okay. Sorry about that, Brittany.
Take one
I'm
right
a
now.
person just like you.
Why don't you take one right now?
Can you take a picture of us, Brittany? Take care.
So, having lived through that, and that was after her public meltdown, so I can't even imagine. How are we going to get Britney Spears back on track again? I don't know. I just feel so sad for her. Okay, so let's talk about Lily Allen for a second. She's a British pop star. She has some big hits. This is her 5th studio album. And this time, I was listening to the whole entire album yesterday. And it's called West and Girl. And it's received raving reviews. And it's raw and emotional and brutally honest. And it's all about her ex, David Harbour, who is one of the actors in Stranger Things. He's 50 and she's 40. And that's why this entire story surprised me a little bit, because I would have thought, this is something that happened with younger people, maybe more than when you are already at that age. She has 2 daughters, one 12-year-old, and a 13-year-old. So keep that in mind. So she's releasing this album and every single song is about him and their relationship and how it completely crashed. When I first heard the songs, I didn't know the whole backstory. So I was like, wow, this is terrible. He cheated on her. She was heartbroken and it's so much raw emotion here. And the way she portrays it, I was like, wow, I felt so much sympathy for her. But then I started realizing that they had an open marriage, so they had an agreement that they could have other people. And that makes me look at things a little bit differently, because what she's accusing him of is breaking the rules of that open marriage. She said that there were feelings there and she found love letters and he was taking it too far. And that's why I'm like, I don't know what to feel about this. And I was looking at David Harbour's Instagram. I don't know if he had his comments open before, but they're closed now. And I wonder if people go after him after they heard all these songs, if you don't know the whole backstory here. And I saw on her Instagram, she's getting a lot of support from people. And I think a lot of women who's been in a situation where they've been cheated on, they can really relate to a lot of the things that she's saying. There's so much emotions here that you're going through. But at the same time, there are some things here, like, for example, something that she admitted in her memoir, where she said that she joined the Mile High Club with Liam Gallagher when he was still married to Nicole Appleton. He cheated with her when he was with someone else. Also, she has confessed to cheating on her first husband, Sam Cooper. She admitted paying for female escorts while on tour in 2014. She said back then, "I'm not proud, but I'm not ashamed." I think my biggest issue here is like, okay, whatever troubles you have in your marriage, if you're an artist and you feel you have to vent everything out to the public, okay. But when you have teenage daughters, that's where I have an issue with this. Because for them to hear about her mom's open marriage and to hear her sing about it and to share it with the world, that to me would be a nightmare for me when I was, if that happened to me as a teenager, I don't know how I would deal with that. And that's why I don't know what to feel about this. Let me know what you think. I also don't think that I've heard of any people that are happy in an open marriage. I feel it's always one person who really wants to have an open marriage and the other person kind of just agrees because they love the other person. And then it turns out that one person will always get disappointed. I don't know. Do you know anyone who's been in an open marriage for like 10, 20 years and are happy together? I still haven't heard a story like that.
Oh, God. What the hell are you doing here? I mean, last time I was single and I was living on the Lower East Side. I have a family now, kids. I mean, this is so embarrassing. You look good, though.
Yeah, let me know what you think about that. Is it possible to have an open marriage? And do you feel sympathy for Lily Allen? Anyways, I wanted to end this episode with this video that popped up on my Instagram the other day. I laughed so hard. This is Dan Stevens. And he gets asked by this host of how he got a part in a movie. And she asked the question in a way that is very inappropriate, but she doesn't get it. It's really funny.
And a big opportunity for you in Hollywood. You must have had to beat off a lot of American men to get this part. Why does that make you giggle? Did you not have to beat them off?
You had to get the role. There was quite a few men up for the role as well.
There were.
And compose yourself.
Yes, and then she asks him to like calm down and get himself together. Yeah, anyways, that made my day. I thought it was very funny. Anyways, thank you so much for watching, you guys. I really appreciate all your support. And as you know, I will keep you posted on everything that happens in the Blake and Justin drama. Nothing new today, but I'm sure more stuff is going to come up later in this week. So stay tuned. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please do and hit the notification bell so you never miss an episode of Flawsome Talk. And I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.